Well, one of our cars that we ended up getting from Japan had a problem. So it overheated on us. Unfortunately, it was one of those things where excitement happened, someone drove it, it overheated, we checked it, had no coolant. So I spent some time trying to remedy the situation. And after much time of trying to remedy the situation, I realized that, oh, this has a blown head gasket. Now we get to replace the head gasket on one of these, which I've never done, and the furthest I will have gone into one of these. So we're going to learn together, just like the timing belt on the Honda Activan. However, this is a Suzuki Every. It is, I believe this is a 97? Yeah, I think it's a 97. So we're gonna, well, take all this stuff apart and then check and see if the cylinder head is flat. If it's not, find a machine shop that wants to touch this, because I'm sure that's a problem. But we'll figure that out, get it machined flat if it needs that, and then throw it back together with a new head gasket. I will say that one of the times that I was looking at this, and I didn't want to believe it, on the block in the front cylinder on the bottom side, I saw what looked like a drip of coolant coming from where the head meets the block. And so I didn't want to believe it, and now I believe it, because I pulled the spark plugs and cylinder one is clean. Well, cleaner than the other two. So that's the one that blew on us, and I hope it's just a head gasket, but we'll find out soon. I think I have everything for the intake manifold and the carb to come out, so I'm going to pull it out and see what stays, because this hose goes through there, and oh, that one comes off. Okay, well that makes that easy. So there's one that goes to the thermostat housing that I didn't take off because I didn't know it was connected under there. But, oh, that bracket's for this one. Okay. Take off this coolant hose because it's probably the return or the feed or whatever for the coolant passages on the carb. Okay, so that line is off. And now, there it is. So I did take a bunch of pictures. I did mark some hoses because there's, what is that, 5 of them on this side. And then these ones I took off to where these two go to one place, but I made it so that it's impossible for me to screw that up. Here, the same thing, that's just a random one that goes underneath. I left as much of this together as possible, which means I have less to remember when putting it back together. I ended up getting the wiring from this spot out and shoved over there. I had to disconnect the battery to do it. So I'm going to show you real quick because it goes underneath and then up into here above the spare tire into the battery. It's got a extra ground here, and then it actually goes through this little hole and plugs onto these fuses. So that's the bolt that undoes it, and the fuse cover here is what hides it. So doing that, shoving it through, getting it out, all the wiring is over there, and we don't have anything in the way up top. But I'm going to take off the little things that I got to take off from this side for this side of the cylinder head with the distributor and so on. And then we're going to take off the cover for the timing. move it to where top dead center is, which I don't know how many timing belts you've done, but normally where the little keyway is would be up, and usually they have that little dot for timing. This also has a straight line on the other side that might be for 180 out top dead, but this is a 3-cylinder, so you actually do it in thirds when you're doing the timing on this or any of that stuff. But putting it there, and this belt shouldn't be that loose. We'll probably find a timing belt kit for this before we put everything back together. Looking at it, like most of the time when you work on a engine or whatever, the camshaft is really long. The cylinder head is, however long, and they usually have some sort of hex that you can put a wrench on to hold the cam and break loose the cam gear bolt. So this one, because little head mini valves, it no do that. So with that, every possible area that's open is a cam lobe. And I saw right here is the upper head bolts. And I was looking, trying to see if the lower head bolts were accessible, and I'll just take it off with the cam in it. But no, they're underneath the camshaft. So I definitely have to take the camshaft off. Which means I have to take all of these off because I have to take the rockers out for the intake side before I can even unbolt the cam, because these are pressing against it. So I got to take the distributor off, and then I might, when the distributor's off and this rear cam cap is off, I should be able to hold the cam itself and then take it out. I might just do this cam cap and that cam cap first, just to see if there is a point to hold it. Worst case scenario, I'm going to have to hold the end where the distributor goes into it. Are we not all the way out with a bolt? Oh, that one was it. Come on, head gasket. There we go. Yep. So if you look over on the corner closest to me, you can see that head gasket is pretty well destroyed up in that corner. Yeah, it's blown out pretty well there. The other thing too is you see how the tiny valves, or the littler valves, closest to me are like a nice silver. The ones in the middle are more brownish. So when head gaskets blow, and actually it might have been this 3rd cylinder back here too, because it's also got some withered away head gasket up there, but when the head gasket goes, it tends to clean the cylinder, and it usually cleans the exhaust side because it's where all the water's going, is out. So the cleaner valves on the outer 2 cylinders tells us that that's probably where the head gasket had blown. And honestly, looking at this and knowing the coolant that came out of it, it would probably be because they never changed the coolant, or they put water in there and caused it to rust. Well, thanks for watching the teardown of a head gasket on one of these little Suzuki 3-cylinders. We're gonna clean up everything, and I'm gonna make sure that the surfaces are nice and flat with a straight edge. And if they are, then we'll put it back together. If they're not, then we're gonna get stuff machined at a machine shop. Hopefully it's okay, and it's just the poor maintenance that led to this head gasket issue. But keep an eye out, because we're gonna do a install video here soon after we get everything sorted and go to put it together. I'm still trying to, you're gonna have to find out how the cam comes out in that one, because I don't know yet.